Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all-important comic book review so you, the fans, can make a decision what comic books to buy. And guys, there's a lot of comic reviews this week, and today we're going to be talking about, or the next review I'm talking about actually, is the Uncanny X-Men issue number 600. That's right, guys. This has been in the making for a very long time. And I also got another action figure variant, and that one is Jean Grey as well. So I wound up getting those two variant covers. I wanted to show off Emma Frost on this review, so I decided to use her. This book is written by Brian Michael Bendis, and the artwork is done by many artists in this book. Some names on here, we have Sarah Pacelli, Mohammed Ashar, Stuart Amaninen, Chris Anka, Chris Bachelot, David Marquez, and Fraser Irving. So when you read this book, you're going to see that the artwork definitely varies in the issues, but it doesn't really change all that much. I mean, you can kind of get, you know, who draws what in here if you're familiar with the artist, but it doesn't interrupt the story really too much. Different timelines and settings of what's going on is what determines the character's time to draw in the actual issue. The only time that it really bothered me was towards the end of the issue, where we get to see Beast here in these last couple pages. Like this page here, this was a complete throw off for me. This was the only drastic change in the artwork, was in that very end of this particular book. So that's what, you know, that's how the artwork goes in here. So basically this story ends Brian Michael Bendis' run. And really, I felt that this issue was not more of really a tribute to, let's say, X-Men in general overall, but a tribute to almost Michael Bendis' run ending. That's what I got kind of out of this story, because this really does end his run. And just in case you forgot what happened in Uncanny X-Men previously, you gotta kind of read that series that Michael Bendis started with to get everything that has happened. And he tries to sum it up here in this, you know, lengthy little paragraph session, so you got an idea of what's going on in case you haven't read it. So this, right off the bat, I felt like this is not really a way to tribute the X-Men when you have to follow what was going on in a story. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of, you know, upset about that, because first off, we haven't read, you know, this series in like 6 months. So it's been a long time. But anyway, you can kind of get what's going on in this book. It's not really hard to understand in certain aspects of what's going on with Beast, but maybe some of the other characters, and I'll explain. So in this issue, right off the bat, we wind up getting this story about Beast. You know, if you've read Uncanny X-Men, you find out that Beast brought the previous X-Men back into this current time to undo things that he didn't want done, the genocide of the X-Men, Scott Summers, all that nonsense. And so usually now Storm and the other X-Men have kind of just I guess what you call as an intervention, and they basically come to his attention saying that he does things without consulting the other X-Men, and they're kind of fed up with the whole situation. And the whole discussion throughout the issue winds up really escalating into something that, you know, Beast has to take action on here, because he feels he's no longer welcomed. So throughout this particular issue, you get to see different stories of what happens with different characters, you know, before this whole meeting of the X-Men. And so you wind up seeing a little thing going on with Illyana and Colossus in here. You wind up going back to Iceman dealing with his younger self, and also dealing with his sexuality, about him being gay and whatnot. So they touch back on that subject, if he's going to hide it anymore, or if he's going to, come out of the closet with it. So there was another touchy situation on there. And in between each story, again, you see the escalation of Beast and the other X-Men about how Beast is handling certain things. We find out that Angel still has his actual cosmic powers, because obviously this takes place before. I guess this takes place right after Black Vortex, but before Secret Wars. So you wind up seeing all that. Then you finally get a realization in here is that young Jean Grey does have feelings for young Beast. So we knew that in previous issues that he had a thing for her, but it always seemed like she wasn't into him. Well, that's not the case. They wind up sharing a kiss. So again, this is all stuff that you gotta kind of read if you want the full story of it. You get an idea of what's happened, but not the full thing. So by the time you wind up getting to the end of this story now, you wind up seeing something that I can say is something that is a true tribute to X-Men in general, is you wind up seeing all X-Men gather together, Cyclops, his team, everybody, all the mutants, and they all come together for moments of peace. And that is even Magneto as well. He comes to his aid, and Magneto may not agree with it. However, they all share a moment, all mutants alike. And then by the time we get to the end of this issue, we wind up seeing that Beast departs and he leaves the X-Men. So what happens with Beast, we don't know. There's even some reference with gold balls in this freaking issue as well. And then there's a backup story in here as well when it comes to Iceman, who is obviously one of the original X-Men in here. And it's called Winter Carnival. And it's done black and white, very old style type of story. And yeah, that's basically it. So, and then Michael Bendis at the end of it really does a pretty cool description on how he took on this project, and he thought it was a very daunting task. There was a lot of shoes to fill, a lot of stories to cover. He admitted it wasn't an easy project for him. So that's that. So what did I overall think about this particular book? I thought it was a good Michael Bendis story. Was it a tribute to the X-Men in general? I guess maybe towards the end of it was. But I would have loved to seen more things, maybe more individual stories when it came to the X-Men to celebrate these characters, instead of concluding Brian Michael Bendis' run. I would have loved to seen this maybe even before Secret Wars came out, not after Secret Wars, so you kind of had an idea and remember what's going on with the story. But again, I would have loved to see more tribute to the characters that we've known over the years. There's a lot of them, and it would be cool to see individual stories. I think I would have liked that, and more than anything. But again, that's my opinion. You guys could really get something out of this. Was it worth the $6? Yes, because if you're an X-Men fan or have read X-Men in the past and you want this in your collection, I definitely feel that it's worth it. And there's many different covers to buy with this issue. And yeah, so it wasn't bad, but it didn't blow my socks off either. And so I'm going to give this one a 3 3/4 out of 5 stars. I thought it would be better than this, but again, it concludes Brian Michael Bendis' run. So guys, in the comments below, tell me what you thought of Uncanny X-Men issue number 600. And fans, until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.